This is a
seeing
David and
trends?
Goliath story. We won in getting out the vote, getting out the message, piercing through some of the questionable assertions of the proponents of Proposition D. We were out there really in any kind of strength over the last 2 months. And the other part of their campaign and the early on organizing is that they lined up a lot of endorsements. Frankly, we think they were inattentive endorsements. In fact, the majority of the Board of Supervisors and the mayor all endorsed Proposition D.
Right.
Everyone agrees, for instance, that mid-market needs help. It's almost a political scandal that it's gone decades without any resolution to the problems that have long plagued that area. We're not going to let our politicians try to gloss over these problems with cheap, easy, ugly solutions. We think that D in Proposition D might as well stand for desperation. The way we ultimately prevailed was that we brought attention to the dubious enforcement of the safeguards and the enforcement of the purported community benefits. San Franciscans know that putting up massive, blinking, blazing, around-the-clock billboards that advertise all manner of consumer products is just not what this town is about. Some people are familiar with this arcade game called Whack-A-Mole. The billboard industry is always coming back and finding new ways of insinuating itself into the fabric of a community. So the way they win standing in community is to bundle it with an altruistic purpose, to bundle it with a community purpose, as was attempted here and defeated, fortunately, on the mid-market. And the United States Department of Transportation is just getting onto this under the general topic of driver distraction. They are including the existing reviews on digital billboards and the effects that they've had on driver distraction. So before we have a body count, we want to get in there now and stop what common sense tells us is an immediate hazard to pedestrian safety. Talking to Parisians, they're more than just being polite. They just get animated when you say San Francisco. This city is a world-class city. It has symbolic significance, practical significance too. We had an advertising scheme on the Golden Gate Bridge that San Francisco Beautiful stopped. And because they're always needing additional revenues, of course, for public transit and the Bridge Authority, they thought maybe we should sell corporate logos, sell bragging rights to corporations that they're helping subsidize the cost of our municipal asset. And it really hurts our sense of civic pride, I think, that we would go down that path. We had the League of Young Voters, we had the League of Conservation Voters. It really cuts across all age groups, the historic aversion to billboards in San Francisco. We didn't expect to get the endorsement of the Chronicle. A couple of their earlier pieces were quite indulgent of the arguments put forth by the billboard proponents. But we sat down with the editorial board there. When they looked at how flimsy this legislation was, they said no. They said it's a trust me contract. It matters very much what is in writing. Going forward, we know that the billboard industry still has designs on further insinuating itself into San Francisco. And we will be here to fight them at every turn. Half the billboards in this city operate illegally, and it's been that way for decades, and it's going to stop.